There is something about the end of the year that I think universally we all collectively start to look back on what we have achieved over the last year, maybe the last couple of years, and also start to look forward to the things that we want to accomplish in the future, in the coming months or coming year. And I know for me, it becomes a time of reflection as it's colder, it's darker, it's easier to kind of get into that deeper reflective mode. And so I will start doing more things like journaling and maybe doing some vision boarding and some other things to reflect on past achievements. And one of the journaling prompts that I came across recently is a very common journaling prompt, and it is to write a letter to your younger self with the lessons that you have learned and where your life is today in comparison to maybe what you thought your life was going to look like when you were younger. And as I was working through that journaling prompt and I was writing this letter to my much younger self, I came up with some lessons that I have learned over the past 50-ish years, since I am 57, through this life that I kind of wish that my younger self would have known, and wonder what my life would look like if I had known these lessons. So I thought I would share those with you today for maybe, you want to look back and see the lessons that you've learned that you could have, given to your younger self. Or perhaps you have come to this video today because these are lessons that you need to hear, or you need to have reiterated to you or reminded that these are life lessons that would be good to keep hold of. So without further ado, let's get into the 5 life lessons that it took me 50 years to learn that I wish my younger self had known. And lesson number 1 is don't wait for life to happen to you. You actually are going to have to take an active role in your life if you want all of the things that you desire to come into your world. The way that God, energy, the universe, whatever spiritual belief you might have, it just energy as a whole works is that you need to be putting something out. You need to be putting action or energy or, just being super proactive into things in order to get the abundance coming back to you. So, a lot of us will spend our time passively waiting for somebody to initiate going on a trip. Like maybe you have wanted to travel, but you've been holding off on traveling anywhere because you want to wait for somebody else to go with you. Well, that day may never come because other people might not have as much of a passion or desire to travel as you do. So if you really want to travel, you're going to have to make the effort and go and find a trip that you want to go on. Either organize a trip yourself, join a tour group. There are lots of solo people who go on tour groups. There's also plenty of successful solo travelers out there as well. It is absolutely something that you can do on your own, and you don't need to wait for somebody else to go do that. Other things, it was interesting as a real estate agent. We found as real estate agents as a whole, but also myself as a real estate agent in Portland, it was very interesting to me how, single people were becoming much more likely to buy a house, especially in Portland. And interestingly enough, I had more single female clients that were buying houses from me than male clients, because my male clients that would maybe tip their toe in, they were thinking about buying a house, but they weren't really sure. And they would kind of go look at a couple of houses and then maybe decide they didn't want to buy something. For the most part, the single ladies, they were tired of waiting for somebody else to come along and be their partner for them to be able to buy a house. They decided they were just going to go ahead and do it on their own. And funny enough, most of my single male clients were wanting to wait around until they partnered with somebody because they wanted to, they wanted to make sure that their partner liked the house that they bought. But I thought that was interesting that they were withholding their opportunity to become a homeowner and build equity in a very good, financial investment, they were withholding that opportunity because they were waiting for somebody else to come into their life. So I always thought that that was kind of interesting that I had way more women who were willing to take that leap than I did male clients. Just generally overall, I would say don't wait for somebody else to make your dreams come true. It is absolutely going to be on you to create your dreams. And this is kind of woo woo, but the theory out there is if you have a dream, then it means that that dream is meant for you. Now, whether that dream is going to fulfill itself in the actual formation that you think of it right now, it may not look exactly like that, but ultimately, if that's a dream that you have and you put the energy and the effort and the work towards that dream, it will come true. Just maybe not exactly in the details that you are seeing it right now. But when you look back, once you have that dream accomplished and you look back, you'll be like, this is the dream that I was having. So just keep that in mind. Don't wait around for circumstances or someone else to get your life started. You have to get out there, turn the key in the car, and start driving because this is your life, and it's time that you take control of your life. Okay, so that was lesson number 1. Moving on to lesson number 2. Let's see. I have my paper down here. I have to cheat. I have notes. Lesson number 2. Whew. This is one. This is, I think, I don't know, they're all big ones, but I think lesson number 2 is probably one of the biggest for me, and that is to lean into failure. I think with the Gen X generation, many of us were brought up that if we didn't do something perfect the first time that we went out and did it, then what was the point in doing it at all? And I feel like we have a whole generation of us that didn't want to fail. And so the fear of failure held us back from pursuing many, many things that we probably would have pursued if we had been encouraged to continue to fail and learn and fail and learn. And every time you fail, accept that as a lesson that is getting you closer to whatever the accomplishment or goal is that you want to get to. If I had been encouraged to fail more, I think that my life would look a lot different. And I love my life. I am not I love where I am right now, and I'm super happy with all of the things that I have. And super, super grateful. But there are definitely things that I wish that there were other dreams that I had when I was younger that if I had been encouraged to continue to fail forward, that I might be a famous clothing designer at this point. I really wanted to go into clothing design, and I was talked out of it because I don't know, there wasn't any jobs, there wasn't, I wouldn't get paid a whole lot to start with, all of these things. And not that that has anything to do with failure, but I mean, I would have had to have put out a portfolio. I probably would have been rejected multiple times. And I just think that there's so many of us that if we get rejected 1 or 2 times, we throw in the towel and we're like, oh, guess we failed at that, instead of continuing to try to move forward through the failures, like fail, try again, fail, try again. It's a very much an engineering philosophy to continue to redesign something. Like if it doesn't work the first time, then you change a little something on it and then you try it again. And if it fails that time, you change a little something. You don't just stop trying to create the product. You just keep reiterating it until you get to the perfect product. And we have to think of ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our souls. That's our product. And, why wouldn't it take multiple reiterations to get to the perfect us or the best us that there is? So that's number 2. Number 3, this is another one. This is one that I still struggle with. This is probably the newest lesson that I have been learning and still learning, and that is to ask for help. Yeah. It's another thing that I think because we were so many of us were latchkey kids. Yeah, I think that's the terminology as Gen Xers. Both of our parents were working. We were the first generation where we had 2 parents that were working, and we would come home from school and we would come in maker. I mean, I vividly remember coming home from high school and or middle school and coming into my house. My mom was a teacher. She wasn't going to get home until 5 or 6 o'clock. My dad owned his own business. He wouldn't get home until later. And I would make myself like a fried bologna sandwich. Ooh, or toasted pimento cheese sandwiches. Yeah, the eating wasn't great back in the 80s for us youngsters. But boy, I couldn't tell you the last time I had bologna. I have no desire to have a piece of bologna in my life. But pimento cheese, I'll still eat a pimento cheese sandwich. Anyway, off track. Asking for help, we became so independent that I think it became like a negative to ask for help. And I think this sort of ties into the whole fear of failing. Because if we asked for help, then it looked like we were failing at something. So it looked like it was really hard for us, or at least I know for myself, it's hard to acknowledge that I don't know how to do something and that I need somebody to help me with something. And that I think again has held back. I think if I had asked for more help and I'd reached out to have more mentorship as I was going through my careers, my multiple careers, if I had asked for more mentorship or asked generally for help in various different things, life might have been a little bit smoother. And I'm trying now to be much better about asking for helps for asking for help in all parts of my life, both personal stuff and, it's just like, the younger generations, like Generation Z, Gen Z and younger millennials especially, are so much more likely to go to therapy and get mental health mental health help. That is really hard to say when they need it. And I think that, I know a large part of Generation X people that are going to therapy, and I think that is fabulous. And I've done therapy myself, but it took a lot to want to actually go and ask for that sort of help because, we were taught again, got to be strong, don't need help, got to do it ourselves. I think that probably held us back a little bit, or just maybe didn't allow us to grow in the way that we needed to grow. And number 4 is that no one actually cares. And I think this ties in with the very quote new philosophy, although it's not really a new philosophy, but it's gained a lot of momentum over the past year, is that we have no F's left to give, right? As Gen X and older millennial women, we're just done caring what anybody else thinks about us. And I don't mean that in a way that we can be mean and horrible and nasty to one another. Not at all. That people do still care if you are a kind person and loving, person that's out there. What we don't care about is if your hair is perfectly done, if your full face of makeup is done, or if it's not done. Like whatever you need to do that makes you happy, as long as it doesn't impact somebody else's life in a negative way, then live your life and live your life joyfully in the way that you want to live it. Because who cares if a troll on the internet has something mean to say? It's on them. They're the ones with the unhappy life, and they are trying to make other people unhappy. And just letting go of thinking about everybody else's expectations that you think in your mind have been put on you, even though that's probably not at all what those people are thinking about, and you're all up in your own head. Letting go of caring about what other people think, that's got to be one of the most freeing things that you can do for yourself. I know for me, over this past couple of years, especially going on YouTube and putting myself out there and being in front of a lot of people on video, and I am an introvert, even though I get on here and I do these videos, and I can be extroverted when I am out in public and around other people. But honestly, when I get my energy back when I'm by myself and I have my solitude. So back to putting yourself out there online and having nasty remarks. I've had plenty of nasty remarks said to me, or just snarky stuff. And again, I'm doing the best that I can, and as far as I know, I try to be as kind and thoughtful and help other people as much as I possibly can. And that's the best that I can do. I try not to be mean. I try not to be judgmental. I try to accept people for who they are, and that's what I hope that other people will do. So again, letting go of that idea that everybody else out there is thinking about you, you are me, thinking, that getting out of your head, that can change your entire life. Just that one lesson can change so much about your life. It's so freeing. So if you're still kind of stuck in that working towards everybody else's expectations, let go of that this year. Make that your 2026 goal or achievement. I don't want to use the word resolution, but that I guarantee you, if you let go of always thinking about what other people think about you, change your life 100%. So number 5, this is a really, really good one. And another one that I think I've always kind of done, but didn't realize I was doing it. And it's just kind of come to my realization recently. And that is that curiosity is going to take you further than any one particular skill is. If you are a curious person and you love to learn about new things, like getting out of your daily routine and daily habits. And I mean, no, don't get out of your daily habit. Daily habits are good. I'm not saying that you need to mess up your entire day, but if you find something interesting, go research it, learn more about it, get passionate about it, because you don't know where that passion might eventually lead you. I found when I get curious about things, for a while, I was so into gut health. I'm still very curious about gut health, and I love to read things about gut health and listen to podcasts about healthy aging and how important gut health is to that. And just, I kind of go down that rabbit hole all the time. And, just getting interested in that, I feel like I am living a healthier life because I started getting interested in that a couple of years ago and, do the things to help with my gut health, which I think overall is helping with my overall health. So it doesn't just have to be about health. It could be something that you get interested in and could take you down a whole nother path for a career in this amazing second half of life, that our second act of life that we get to enjoy at our age. Perhaps you just recently got interested in crocheting or knitting or something like that, and you've gotten really into it and you've discovered that you love to make knitting patterns. Well, now you are making knitting patterns and you're like, oh, and people are asking you about your knitting patterns, and you could go on to YouTube and share your knitting patterns, or perhaps you set up a Etsy store or a Shopify store to sell your knitting patterns. And now all of a sudden you've taken a curious interest and turned it into something that is going to give you a little bit of extra spending money to, live out to do other things that you want to do in your life. I just think that the more curious and open you are to new ideas, whatever they may be, from arts and crafts to cooking to healthy things to learning new music, or maybe you've been putting off writing a novel and you want to get interested in how to actually write a novel. Curiosity is going to take you so far, but not just for yourself. Curiosity is also going to make you a more interesting person. So if you are out and you're making new friends, all those curiosities, now you've got all these different topics that you can talk about and get away from those negative topics that are floating around out there all around us all day long, that just, I feel like, are bringing us all down. The world today, yeah, it can be tough and it can be dark and it can be hard to maneuver through life and talking to people without going down some super negative conversational topics. So the more curious you are about things outside of, say, politics, religion, all the other things that you can be curious about, that just opens up so many more interesting conversations with other people and avenues to meet new friends, which I know at our age, if you don't already have a core group of friends in your late 40s and early 50s, it can be challenging to make new friends if you've moved somewhere new for whatever reason, and it can be hard. And that's another topic that I think I'm going to go into in another video, is how to make new friends when you are living new circumstances as a Gen Xer, because that is very challenging. And we all know that having a community around you is one of the core elements of living a healthy, longer life. So I want to make sure that you guys have people around you that love and support you. So that's going to be a video in the future. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so that when that video comes out, you don't miss it. Anyway, to wrap up, I hope that these lessons have helped in some way. I mean, that's the whole goal of this channel. I just want to be your Gen X girlfriend, that we're having a conversation back and forth about life things, getting deeper into what we can do to make our lives better as Gen X women. And if you have a life lesson that you think would be another one that would be great to add to this list, because this list is very, very brief. I know, only 5 lessons, and I've learned so many more, but I didn't want a 5-hour long video. If you can drop that down in the comments below, I would love to learn the lessons from y'all that you would share to your younger self too. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you go out and have a wonderful day. Maybe go touch some grass and make sure to drink water. Bye-bye.